He was a high-profile member of Montreal's organized crime network. Francesco Del Balso was killed outside of Monster Gym on St. Regis Boulevard. His death comes as no surprise.
Now, he was a known senior mafia member of the Rizzuto crime family. He ran gambling for the Rizzuto clan and was trying to carve out more space for himself. Now, just last month, Claudia Iacono was shot and killed outside her salon in Côte-des-Neiges. She was the daughter-in-law of mafia figure Marino Gallo. But it's not clear if these incidents are linked.
Part of the CTV report on that event that happened yesterday afternoon about 1 o'clock outside Monster Gym out in DDO. We want to know more. Pietro Polleti is an ex-Montreal police investigator who, by the way, has been following the mobs and gangs in the city for more than 30 years, I think, Pietro, right? Around 30 years?
That's right.
You've very graciously allowed us to talk about this today, to come into studio. So first of all, thank you for doing that. I want to ask you the question. As soon as I heard that report, what Maya said, what kind of struck me, his death is no surprise. So when you heard what had happened, broad daylight, another shooting, another mob hit, what'd you think? Was it a surprise?
Not at all. He was definitely overdue. And
wow.
When I read reports and journalists and other commentators saying he was a mafia leader, that is totally false. Totally. Again, we're going into the glorifying the mafia. He was a thug. He was an associate. And he was an enforcer.
Really?
I came across him in an investigation. He 2005, he had gone to, with his associates, 4 other goons in Placeville Marine. They beat up a businessman. An aggravated assault. They massacred the person. And and we arrested him, and he was just arrogant. So when I hear people, journalists, and other people that are in the field saying he was a mafia leader, that is totally false.
All right, let me go back. He wasn't a leader. From what I'm reading or what I've heard over the past 24 hours, he wanted to be a leader. He tried to infiltrate way up the gang.
He had a crew. He had a crew.
Okay.
The leader reflects his members, and the members reflect the leader, and they were just as bad as him. He was arrogant. Listen, let's go back a year and a half. He threatened the priest because his wife sent his suits to a bazaar in Laval, and that she forgot to remove the...
Oh, I remember the story, yeah. Earrings right. Or something, or jewelry.
In Quebec, he muscled some small pizza guy operation. Montreal, he was still doing the same thing, selling fruits and vegetables. So when I hear people say he was a mafia leader, not at all. He was a burden to any criminal organization. He last year or two, he was hotter than a branding iron. Nobody would get close to him.
So you would have thought that he knew something was up, and his time was sort of limited. He
knew his time was.
What would have led to that? Like, I know you don't know specifically necessarily,
but if it's true what the police say, that he was involved in the attempted murder on Leonardo Rizzuto, that's a death wish.
Okay, but let me ask you. That's what I didn't understand. So we know the Leonardo Rizzuto story. They try to shoot him on the highway. But I thought, from what I've read, and you're going to have to clarify, was he in the Rizzuto clan? So how do you go after Leonardo Rizzuto if you're part of the clan? What
happened was, it's very important, and people have to understand. Our judicial system, they all got arrested in Projet Codice. And when it comes to Italians' traditional organized crime, they go for the plea bargaining. They never go to trial for various reasons, primarily to save money. So they'll take the deal. 10, 12 years. He was sentenced to 15. And the organization will pay for the lawyers, whatever. Now, when he came out, he was expecting to get back his loan sharking role, his internet gambling.
Well, you said he got sentenced to 15 years. How long did he serve?
He served, I think, 12 years, if I'm not mistaken, 11, 12 years. And he was put aside by the association. His partner was killed, Giordano Lorenzo, who was another hothead, who was... there were more trouble for the organization, the Sicilian clan, than profitable to have them on.
So they were more trouble than they were worth.
That's right. There was a burden. It was unpredictable. You never knew what he was going to do.
And in the case, I think, of Leonardo Rizzuto, the attempted, killing, apparently Francesco Del Balso tried to leave town
2 or 3 days later. And this is what it's also interesting, is that the police arrested him at the airport seized his passport, but didn't accuse him of any crime. There's a law that you're allowed to seize an object, or
in this case,
for 90 days, pending an investigation. So that time was also expiring, unless they were going in front of a judge to renew that.
Yeah.
So his days were counted. He knew it.
Okay. And if we had to figure out, I heard in this report that we just played the beginning of, this is not the end of it, right? There's retribution for everything in this business, it would seem, and when it comes to the mafia. What are you expecting might happen next?
Okay, we got to distinguish two things. There's a difference between vendetta and revenge. A vendetta is when two clans or two organizations are going at it for years, a feud, family, Hells Angels, Italians, whatever. This was strictly revenge. One individual who attacked an empire, so-called, if it's true that he went after Leonardo Rizzuto, is just signing a death wish. So I don't expect any reprisals. The only thing, the people that were associated with him, if he did commit that act, I think they're running scared now.
What about Claudia in all of this? Because from what we've learned, it's very unusual for a woman to be shot, a woman involved in the family, but not necessarily involved in the business.
Very unusual. Listen, there's various theories, and I think soon people will find out. I don't think it was directly related to organized crime.
Why do you say that?
She had a prominent business. And like you said, yes, we had women involved in organized crime in Montreal. We did. Very powerful also. I don't think she was of that caliber. Her husband still had so-called connections, links. So maybe we'll be surprised on the outcome. We'll be surprised.
But do we tie any of this, to Natasha's point, do we tie any of this together? Claudia Iacono 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and now Francesco Del Balso. There's a relation here of any kind?
No.
Okay.
I hear, and follow me on this, Claudia, rest in peace, Iacono, whatever, she's Sicilian. She comes from the same town as the Rizzutos. I don't think the Rizzutos would attack a distant cousin, let's say, related, nerdy that there's a relationship. So that theory, is it somebody else, another person, for other personal reasons? I don't know.
Okay.
And the Hells Angels' role in all of this?
The Hells Angels I've refined. I don't think they would associate with any of this.
Okay.
I know the SQ, they executed search warrants following the attempt on Leonardo Rizzuto. I think sometimes the police, and I think our listeners have to dissect what you read. The police work based on what journalists will say, instead of the opposite. Our intelligence department at the time were cutting out newspaper articles and considering that intelligence.
Wow.
That's the point we're at. So we got to be very careful on that.
So is this Sicilian versus Calabrian? Is that still an issue or not anymore?
And again, may I elaborate on that? Del Balso was nor Sicilian nor Calabrese. He came from Campobasso. And I hear people, again, saying, well, no, he's part of the Calabrese. No. You can't be from another region in Italy, Campobasso or Northern Italian or Roman, and run a Sicilian family.
Okay.
So right there, you start questioning the credibility.
Pietro,
I think affiliate, but Paul Cherry said it correctly. He was an affiliate, he was an associate, but definitely not a mafia leader.
Paul Cherry, crime writer with the Gazette.
That's right.
Pietro, being who you are and having contacts in both worlds, do you ever worry about your own safety?
Absolutely. Because with individuals, there's a lot of Del Balsos on the street left. There's a lot. Hotheads who don't, if there's a code of ethics, they don't really pursue it. I was attacked at home 3 years ago. My mother was attacked. And just hotheads like him.
So, given that things seem to be heating up and we don't really seem to have a real handle on what's happening, should we be worried? Should Montrealers be worried about their safety?
But do we have a handle on what's happening? I mean, did this come out of the blue? I mean, is this what you would expect it to see happen?
I don't think there's a handle. I think who lost in all this? this event was, and I think the investigators played their cards right, but the other side had the better hand. What they were trying to do by arresting and removing his passport is hopefully he'd become a turncoat, an informant.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that they were playing their cards that way, and that didn't happen. He was killed before that, and that would have been his last door to go knock.
Okay. I wish we had more time because this is fascinating.
It's riveting.
Just to know this is still going on. And by the way, for people who wonder, yes, there's still a mob. There are various gangs. I remember you telling me this a couple of weeks ago. So just as a final question, are you expecting things to get worse, or does this kind of settle down now because this was done?
I think it'll settle down for a while.
Okay.
But like I said, if he had associates that committed an act towards Rizzuto, I think
Don't be surprised if they're
Don't be
taken care of.
surprised we'll have a couple of more killings.
Pietro Polleti, thank you so much for coming in.